Okay, perfect. Okay, it's recording.
Yay!
Okay, Agnes. Well, welcome to my channel, everyone. I'm interviewing Agnes Vivarelli, the great Agnes Vivarelli. I learned self-love through her YouTube videos, so definitely check her out. She's the guru for self-love, and I still follow her channel, her videos, and do her meditations. And today's interview is about money, how to manifest money, because now that I have my specific person, I'm moving into manifesting money. So, Agnes, can you tell us where you are located on this earth? Yes.
At the moment, I am in the mountains near with my mum, an hour out of Sydney, Australia. That's where I am today.
Wow. And are you quarantined?
We're told to isolate as much as possible. So yeah.
Okay, but you're not, like, it's not a rule that you have to stay home. Just keep distance from people.
Yes, it is a rule.
Okay.
It is a rule that we have to stay home. We're allowed out to go food shopping, try and keep it down to once a week or twice a week at the most, and go out. You're allowed out an hour a day to exercise, but apart from that, that's it.
That's awesome. Well, that's great that you're quarantined in the mountains. But
yeah, it's good.
Yes. Okay. I'll begin with, I guess, the first question, the most obvious, and that's, how was your relationship with money before, and then how's your relationship with money now?
Well, I think my relationship with money before was always needing it, always wanting it, always fear of not having enough of it, having anxiety, not sleeping. So I had a lot of really negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions about money. And some of the main ones were fear and anger. They were the two, probably top two, and then being preoccupied with it a lot. So I think now what's changed is I feel completely different about the subject of money in terms of daily thoughts about it. I don't think about it all the time because I think about other things, and I'm not preoccupied with it all the time. And when I do think about it, it's to pay something and to give thanks for the service or product that was given, and I have a lot of gratitude for the money that I have. I mean, I know right now a lot of people are struggling with not having enough money. They're struggling with losing their jobs. They're struggling with, how am I going to pay my rent, my mortgage, my food, all these things. So it is very much a challenging time for many people. And when you're in fear, you keep money away. So it's, right now, being grateful that I have a bed to sleep in, grateful that I have money to buy food, grateful that money comes in easily and effortlessly, that I work half the hours for twice the pay. This is the best financial day of my life. Having those kind of thoughts about money, I think, are extremely important, because gratitude breeds more money. If you want to have more money, you have to find ways to be grateful for what you have. And I think not just general gratitude. I think general gratitude is excellent, but if you want more money, you have to be grateful for the money. I think it seems to work that way in my experience. So yeah, having that gratitude every day. Thank you for the shower and the hot water, and thank you for the electricity, and thank you for, the fact that we were able to move right kind of in the middle of the coronavirus. Thank you for the removalists. Thank you for, and you just keep going. You just keep finding things you're grateful for. And that really increases more money coming to you.
Wow, that's powerful. And thank you for sharing that. I'm still in that transition of being grateful for what I have.
Maria,
Yes.
do you want to just pause for a second? Pause the recording.
Yes. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We had some Wi-Fi difficulties, but we're back. And thank you, Agnes, for answering that question. That was beautiful. I'm working on being grateful for what I have now and not waiting for the money to come, just living in the present moment. So thank you. And the next question is, what's your daily routine with money?
Look, to be honest, I don't really have a daily routine anymore. I just am very conscious of, like, if I pay something or if I take money out of the machine, that I say thank you for this, rather than, I remember standing at the bank, the ATM machine, and as soon as I took money out, I'd kind of go into fear, like, oh no, I'm taking money out, and I'd get this kind of wave of fear that would come up. So now, whether I'm paying for something or I'm using the ATM, I'm just much more conscious, and I say thank you for the money. Money multiplies, and I always have more money than what I need. So I just try and do that while I'm consciously using money, taking money out, paying a bill, and just being much more, having loving, kind thoughts around the subject of money in my own head. Doesn't have to be with other people, just what happens in my head while I've got money in my hands, while I've got my ATM card in my hand. Anytime I've got to pay for food, pay for bills, pay for anything, I think it's really important to watch what you do mentally when you're exchanging any money at all.
Wow. And what about when you started to clear those blockages about money? Like, how did you clear them, or what did you have to do to clear those blockages of lack and fear?
Well, I worked on some affirmations. This is the best financial day of my life. I work half the hours for twice the pay. Money comes in faster than I can spend it, because coming from a family that didn't have a lot of money, I didn't have those kind of good thoughts. I had to learn to have those thoughts. And my dad didn't work a lot in winter in Canada, because that's where I grew up, partly because it was snowing and he was a builder, and he had to stay home. And then we didn't have a lot of things. I mean, we still had a roof over our head, but there was definitely, in those days, shopping in secondhand shops was not cool. It was for poor people. So I had a lot of shame about my parents buying stuff in secondhand stores and all of that. So, I had to change the family beliefs and the beliefs from my grandparents as well about money being, and that thing that rich people, people that were rich were always ripping people off, or they weren't good people, or all this stuff, pretty standard beliefs, like a lot of poor people have about the wealthy. So I had to change my thoughts. And then I also, there's a money meditation that's on my channel. It's just called How to Attract More Money. And my law of attraction friend and I, because she grew up in a refugee camp and I came from a not wealthy family. We had both not very good beliefs about money. So over time, we designed this meditation in silence. We used to work it out. And then as I was sharing what I did with her, one of the viewers on the channel said to me, can you actually recreate that and put it up on the channel so we can use it? So I actually did it as a meditation with music and put it up on the guided meditations only channel. And that's the meditation that I would do. And I might do it maybe 3 times a month now, because I think it's good for me to keep my thoughts on the positive in case I don't really forget, but it's like when you do I love myself for when you're trying to create a relationship, reminding yourself that you're loved. It's good to remind yourself that I am wealthy and I have money and I attract money and I create money and all those things, to just keep yourself topped up. So I think that's probably the thing I do for my routine. And also something that I do every week around money is tithing. Now, tithing is obviously a religious thing. I am not religious by nature. I am a spiritual person, but not a religious person. But the whole concept of tithing, of giving, tithing is usually 10% of what you earn. I just decide to give, whatever I want. This week I had the good fortune of seeing 2 people that I hadn't seen in 10 years. I went up to the shops and just by chance, it's never by chance as we know, I ran into my old boss. Now, these 2 people, a husband and wife, they really looked after me when I was going through a really bad breakup, and they would keep me busy at work. They would feed me. She would bring me lunch every day. They were incredible, absolutely incredible to me. Anyway, I moved away, and I went to work in the city, and then I started, my business and went and worked overseas and all this stuff. And I hadn't seen them and I lost track of them actually. So this week I was at the local shopping center to buy some food because my mum's over 70. She wasn't allowed out, and I went and did the shopping because the over 70s in Australia are told that they have to stay home for their own safety. And I ran into them, and I remember thinking for years, they helped me so much. I would love to be able to tithe to them. Anyway, years went by, never saw them, never got to thank them for what they did for me because, I was still pretty much a mess when I left working there, mentally and emotionally. And I ended up seeing them, and I was able to give them a fairly large amount of money and to say to them, you have no idea how much you helped me, and it's so good to be able to give back to you and to thank you verbally for what you did. So that would be one of my weekly money practices, is to really, whoever I get inspired to give to, no matter how much I make, that I give a percentage away. And usually the amount just pops into my head. It might be $50, it might be $200, it might be, it's never the same amount, but it just felt so good to give, because I think when you want more money, giving a bit keeps the flow going.
Wow. I've never heard of this concept. Like, I've heard of, yes, giving, but not in this way, like, donation and you have to give to receive, but I feel like you do it in a different way. It's very, I don't know, very grateful, like very flowy, and I'm going to incorporate that into my life. I feel like I need to give when I have, but you should start giving now, even if it's just $1. Yeah, wow.
Exactly. And it's that giving. Look, I can tell you the money I gave, I know I got way more joy out of the giving than the amount of money that was given. The being able to say thank you to these people, and to really, because she had just lost her job this week. I forgot to tell you that. She'd lost her job as a dental nurse, and she was a bit stressed. So I met her 2 days after she lost her job. So talk about incredible divine timing. It was amazing.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
uh, no, that's beautiful. Thank you, Agnes. Me and my partner yesterday, we were working on some blockages, and we want to do some online courses on what we're passionate about, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't see past the online. He has so many negative things, and he also feels bad having fun doing what he loves. And I told him, like, you just, like, that's a blockage that you need to clear, that you can have fun working, you can earn money having fun. And just listening to you is like,
Yeah.
like, you can never work a day in your life, and just money just flows. And yeah, it's amazing.
Well, definitely. And, my brother said to me a long time ago, Maria, you have to stop thinking I have to exchange 1 hour of my time for 1 hour's
Mm,
money. And at the time, I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you have to start creating things that can sell and help people while you're sleeping. And I said, oh, so from that, I've got 3 books, I've got 6 courses, I've got uh, also, Google pays us, those of us that have YouTube channels, if you set up your YouTube properly. So it's like all those things. Yes, I still do email coaching and face-to-face coaching, and that's exchanging my time for money. But all these other things are what they call passive income, and it's money coming in while I'm in bed. So I can wake up in the morning and look and go, oh, I've made $500 while I've been sleeping.
mm,
Thank you. And then I send out what needs to be sent out or whatever. So you got to start thinking that it's not just 9 to 5, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that income can be coming in. But you've got to shift out of employee thinking.
right.
But in saying that, there are some employees that also have passive income. So, you can combine it, exchanging some time for money and also bringing in passive income. It's possible.
Wow. Wow, thank you, Agnes. All this means a lot to me, because this is where I'm at. I have an Etsy shop, 2 Etsy shops. One I sell my art, and the other one I sell tiny home designs. And when I make my
Yep.
first order, I'm gonna be so happy. Like, I know I have broken through that wall. So thank you. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just little steps at a time.
exactly. Okay, another question is, why is it so hard for people to sell? And why are some people able to sell a lot? There's a negative connotation to selling and taking money from people. What do you think about that? Or why is it so hard to sell and take money?
Well, it's not. It's not. I think it's actually quite simple once you stop trying to sell and you start looking at how can I give people relief? How can I give people entertainment? How can I give people answers to what they need to know? See, if you just think of selling, that means it's all about you. I want you to buy what I have to sell, but you can't come from that place. You've got to come from the place of what do people need, and what skills and talents have I got that will help them with that. Once you can answer that question, you're not selling anything. Like, I don't do any marketing in my business. I did a marketing course ages ago. And then I remember thinking, I don't want to do any of this, because all of this marketing is about how to get from people.
Exactly.
And I thought that goes against everything that my business is about, which is about giving. So I thought, I'm not doing any of that marketing stuff. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I think it's too pushy. They often say, oh, buy this, it's the last, there's the last 10 and then there's no more. So they try and scare you into buying. Like, it's like scarcity marketing, hate that. So I remember thinking, I don't want to do any scarcity marketing. I don't want to do any kind of pushy sales. I don't want to do any advertising. I mean, if I have something for sale, I'll just say, here's what it is, here's what it costs, and it's available for a month, a week. But you don't need to say to people, oh, it's only for today, or it's only for 1 week. You can just say, this is what's available. It's available for a week. You don't have to scare people. You don't have to plug into their scarcity. You just are honest and open about it. And I think when you come from that place and then you sort of say, what are people really needing right now? Like, I'll give you an example. This week I was watching TV with my mum, and there was this company that was making alcohol to drink, like, beer and wine and stuff like that. Now, all of a sudden, the Australian government said, okay, all the shops have to shut. You are not allowed to connect in any kind of retail shop with customers. They can come in and get takeaway, but they must just buy and go. That's it. So basically, this was, a pub or a place where they sold alcohol and people could sit around and drink with their friends. So all of a sudden, they went from having this business to having pretty much 10% of business.
Wow.
So someone in that business said, okay, everything's just changed. We cannot keep doing things the same way, or we are going to lose our entire business. So what can we do to change with the times? So what they did was they thought, we sell alcohol. What else can we make? They made hand sanitizer because of the pandemic.
Right.
Now, they sold about 4,000 of those hand sanitizers in 48 hours on the internet and in the shop. So you see, if you get lemons, make lemonade. These guys didn't go, oh, what are we going to do? And poor us. And we don't know what, our business is finished. They didn't do that. They asked the question, how can I adapt? How can I change? How can I make something better? How can I answer the need of the people as we going to the supermarket and there was no hand sanitizer because it was sold out. So they created a product that suited the huge need of the people that, in Australia. So that kind of thinking is what just creates money. They were trying to help people and help themselves at the same time, and they did. It's a fabulous story of changing your mindset instead of complaining.
Right. Wow. Well, I have work to do there, and that's why I love your channel so much. Besides the self-love meditations, like, you never say subscribe, like, buy my course. Like, it's so fluid, and I want to follow your steps.
Yeah.
Because everyone, it's like 20% off, which is fine, and like there's 10 spots left, and like I hate that too, and I feel like they're trying to,
Yeah. Well, you feel like they're trying to get from you rather than giving you something. Like, I just think, I think it's important to give certain things away, and I think it's important to give certain things. I mean, we're in a pandemic right now. I mean, I think a lot of people are stuck at home, and a lot of people have got not as much money. We know that around the world, that's what's happening. So, I put my courses on special, when I get the feeling to do it. And I knew I was putting them on special in March, but the pandemic hadn't hit yet. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. It's like, because people are at home, because people have less money, let me give it at 50% off. That way, people that are staying home that don't have a lot of money can still afford to do it, hopefully, if they have still a little bit of money, or if they've got jobs. So, I think it's important to give a bit and just come from that place of people are anxious right now. People are stressed. People are lonely because they're stuck at home. People are, going through all sorts of emotions. I mean, in the industry that I'm in, I'm more busy than I normally am because of that. That's the luck of the draw. If I'd been a dentist, like my friend, she's lost a job because she was a dental nurse. You never know what industries things like this are going to affect. It literally just depends, on what you do and what you've chosen to do and what you love to do. So, but I think it's a responsibility for those of us that are making money, that are doing well, that are really still rolling quite nicely, that we go and spend our money, with little shops instead of the big corporations, and keep the little family businesses going as much as we can.
Wow. Thank you, Agnes. I want to think like that. I want to get to that point where I lower the price because I want to help, not because I want to get more packages. And it's because that's what I've been taught. That's how people,
Yeah.
do something so you can get more sales. But I don't want to think.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
so thank you. It's great to hear from somebody.
You know what? I had a friend. Yeah. I had a friend that said to me years ago, if you can get up every morning and say, how can I serve and how can I give, rather than what can I get and who can I get it from, she said, you will always have more than enough. And, she's got a $1 million business in a very small town and has done incredibly well when a lot of people around her haven't. And, I interviewed her on my channel, and I wrote her story in my book, Boomerang, because she really understood how to give. And she still to this day comes from that place and has been a really good role model for me to see that, it doesn't matter that you're in a small town, you can still do really well, like hugely well. And she had her mind and her emotions and her genuinity to give. It's created an amazing business for her.
Wow. I love that. I know I'm gonna get there because you're talking to me, I'm hearing it, and I love it. That's that's the frequency I want to be on. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Another question is, I have two more. So one more question is, how do you balance your love relationship and money relationship going? Do you alternate between affirmations and love and money, between self-love meditations and money meditations? And you probably don't even do this anymore. But like, what would you do if you were like
Balancing it.
Yeah.
I still do self-love. I think that's the most important thing. Then I might I don't do many meditations, my specific person anymore. I just know that my self-love is the greatest thing that keeps that relationship going. But it also just makes me feel good too. And if I do that, then my money gets taken care of too. It's like the foundation of all is keeping yourself in a really good mental, secure, loving state. That's the most important thing. Once I do that, my money takes care of itself. My relationship takes care of itself. I mean, my partner does a lot of work behind the scenes for my business, website stuff and research and all sorts of stuff that he helps me with that I don't really like doing. And then he just relays the information to me. So that's really good. And so it's like we connect as two people, but we also connect on this business level because it's really important to have people with different skills. So my balance is much more, what do I need to do for myself today? Did I exercise? Did I do a meditation? Did I get enough sleep? Did I drink enough water today? because if I get cranky when I don't sleep enough, I get headaches if I don't drink enough water, I get stiff because I'm on the computer a lot, I get pains in my body from sitting at the computer for too long. So it's making sure I take care of those things, and then the rest of it, honestly, it just takes care of itself. And then coming from a place of how can I serve and how can I give, and then there's always somebody that shows up. Like I don't, it's very rare these days that I open my email and there's not about 40 or 50 emails there every day. So it's like the YouTube channel just connects people with me. I mean, yes, I do a bit of Instagram, but my main focus was let me do one thing really well rather than scattering myself across Facebook and Twitter and all these different things. I thought, because that was the advice that the marketing people said. And I thought, no, I'm not doing that. That sounds like way too hard. I have to learn too many things and then I'm not going to do anything properly. So I made a decision I would do YouTube and I would learn it really, really well. And then I do a very small bit of Instagram, maybe once every 7 to 10 days or something. I'll post something up there. So it's not very frequent, but that keeps the balance. It keeps the balance. So affirmations, self-love meditations, ho'oponopono, and then, still going to bed thinking about things I still want to create, imagining different things. Do I imagine every night? No. I'm quite happy in my life generally. I'm not always going, I want to manifest this and I want to manifest this. I'm actually quite comfortable in being at peace with just how things are. And then there's still, I've been free for about 4 years. I travel and I see my family in France and I see my partner in London and I see my mum in Australia. So I pretty much get to do everything I want to do in terms of travel. And that's something I always wanted, was to be free. So having a lot of material possessions and things like that, I don't need those things to be happy. I'm quite happy with very little possessions if I've got them, because I worked in homewares and worked in beautiful shops for a long time. I still have a real appreciation for those things. And I have some of those things around me, but I don't need them to be happy. I need to be free to be happy. That's definitely something I need.
Wow. And also when you're feeling loved and appreciation, it's so much easier to manifest. Like if you say, I don't know, I want $1,000, they'll come up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just so grateful because I feel like I needed to hear all of this, from somebody who's doing it, and it just feels amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while. Like you're at the beginning of the first sort of little bit of the journey, being free and being where you want to be. I mean, I remember the first 6 months, I was like flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't have enough money. I was thinking, how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to, it was 6 months of being really insecure, I can tell you, around financial stuff,
No, yeah, because it took me 1 year, if not a year and almost a half, to manifest my specific person and manifest, a person beyond my wildest dreams. But it was a year or a year and a half of pure self-love meditation. So I'm giving myself about 1 year to manifest, infinite abundance. 1 year of, breaking my blockages about money, affirmations, meditations. I hope it's a little bit shorter than 1 year, but I feel like, I don't know, it's a lot of work. Like you said,
well, you know what, Maria, if you keep saying it's going to take, if you keep saying it, I'm giving myself 1 year to manifest the money, you're actually postponing money coming into you. You got to say, I'm ready for it now.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I'm ready. Jeez. Thank you.
Yeah.
And okay, and then last question. I guess this is for you as a coach. What do you recommend everyone to do to change their relationship with money now? Especially since people lost their jobs, people can't pay rent. Like, what do you recommend for them to start changing?
Mm.
Their mindset.
If they have internet access, I would suggest they listen to the audio book for free, Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich. I think that is one of the biggest game changers for me. And I would say 500 times a day, those affirmations that I mentioned. Money comes in faster than I can spend it. This is the best financial day of my life, and I work half the hours for twice the pay. You've got to do affirmations like that. You can't keep thinking you're old. How am I going to get money? Where am I going to get a job? Because that's all poor person thinking. So you have to make, and that's understandable if you've lost your job, but you have to make the effort to change what you think if you're going to get money to come in. It's not just going to come because you keep thinking the same old stuff. It's not going to happen. I can tell you, I tried it for 30 years. It didn't work. So you got to change your thinking. And so make a commitment to doing those 500 a day. And then I would say, practice that money meditation that my friend and I did, and do it, you know, if you can do it once a day for the next at least 60 days. I know whenever I've had moments where I haven't had money come in, I go back to that meditation. Within about 3 or 4 days, money has come into me.
Wow.
So it really, really works. Because I remember Maria, people would be saying, like, you just have to say, I am wealthy. And I would say, yeah, but I've never been wealthy. I don't know how that feels. It's like, you know, if you've been wealthy and you've lost your money, that might mean something. But I am wealthy. I can hear those words. But as a poor person that grew up with not very much, that didn't register as anything to me. So, but I remember thinking, I am free. Wealthy people can do what they want when they want. So I'm going to try I am free, because I am free. I was free on weekends because I wasn't working. I was free when I was walking on the beach. I was free when the wind was blowing on my face. I was free when I was out in the sun having a swim. That I could understand because I was free for 2 days a week. I was earning 5 days money, but I was in so much debt. All the money I had would always go to the debt and pay my rent, and I had nothing left. So I thought, okay, I'm going to practice I'm free, and that worked. And I think if you make that one of your affirmations, it really helps to, because there's little pockets of your day, little pockets of your week where you are actually free. When you go to bed at night, no one's in your bed with you, hopefully, or you know, you just can have a moment where you're free. So keep saying that I am free. I used to say it thousands of times a day because I felt so trapped and suffocated. I thought I have to get the feeling of freedom.
Wow. Well, thank you, Agnes. I've done your meditation, the 30-minute one where you radiate love to money, and then money radiates love to you. I love it. And yeah, like clients.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's the meditation.
yeah, no, yeah, I'll put it in the description below so everybody can do it. And thank you, Agnes. This was an amazing interview. Thank you for making one of my dreams come true to interview you. Hopefully there will be a part 2. And
Yeah.
yeah, is there anything
Sure.
else that you would like to share with the audience?
I think it's just believing that it's possible, because I think so many people, we lose hope, you know, along the way, and just say, I just have to learn how to think differently. The way I've thought has got me to where I am around my money. So I'm going to be willing to learn to think differently around the subject of money and get better at it. There's some YouTubes. There's a guy called Harv Eker. Harv is his first name, like Harvey. So just Harv, and then Eker, Eker. He does a lot of, he grew up poor. He lost so many businesses. He's really no nonsense the way he talks about money, and he's extremely wealthy. If you can get on YouTube and just listen to some of his YouTubes, he's well worth the listen, and he's funny and he's easy to understand, really easy.
Okay, thank you. I'll put some of his videos in the description below as well. and I'll look at them.
Cool.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Agnes, and thank you everyone for watching, and we're gonna say bye in the behind the scenes. Okay, so bye.
Okay.
Let me
Bye, everybody.
stop.